And here with their thoughts, criminal defense attorney and former federal prosecutor Andrew Cherkasky, plus distinguished professor at Touro University, Thane Rosenbaum. Great to have you both with us here. First, I want to start, Andrew, with the news that we heard from the former president today on Truth Social, that he is anticipating that he will be arrested and indictment related to the January 6th probe.
Yes, well, I think that we have to recognize what today signals, and that's the upcoming inevitable indictment of a former president for actions and conduct that he engaged in while president. That is new. And I think that it is something that's particularly noteworthy in this. There is no precedent for that. And in fact, the DOJ has for a very long time indicated that the prosecution of a president for conduct engaged in while sitting as president is not something prosecutable. We can go back to the Nixon era, where the DOJ determined that they effectively couldn't prosecute Nixon for conduct that he engaged in while president. Now, he was ultimately pardoned. But every president since that has engaged in conduct that the public has decried as potentially criminal. You can look at George W. Bush and the allegations that he fabricated weapons of mass destruction. You can look at Joe Biden and the pullout of Afghanistan, leaving a dozen Marines dead through what some call a negligent withdrawal from Afghanistan. You can find examples all over the place of what presidents do while they're president that can be questioned by their political opponents and put in the realm of criminality, and it's never happened before. So I think that it's worth taking a pause to understand just how unprecedented this is and what sort of future this creates for the American presidency and political opponents in the future.
Yeah, Thane, one of the things when it's described as a January 6th investigation, I think a lot of people would look at the speech that the president gave, said, we're going to go down to the Capitol, we're going to protest peacefully. He made that clear. But I'm guessing when this comes out, may be completely wrong, that this may involve more than that. It may involve what Jack Smith has been investigating related to electors that they were trying to get at various states. Now, their explanation would be, hey, this is if the other states did not come through appropriately, we wanted to have that option. Also, the argument that was made by one of his lawyers that the vice president could actually decide which states to recognize. I wanted to get your thoughts as a constitutional lawyer on those.
So, Bob, this is sort of the kitchen sink moment, right? At this point, what we're hearing is that they're literally throwing the book at the president, every book they can find. Remember, they brought the documents case first, and they brought it in Florida, where Donald Trump is popular, which means that we might have a more favorable jury. When I was on your show then, I probably said something like, that shows to me that they knew that the January 6th case was weaker, and they decided to go with the stronger case, even in a jurisdiction where Trump might have a more favorable jury. The fact that they're bringing the January 6th, and given the points that you've just raised, the question of an incitement of a riot when the president also said, let's walk over peacefully and patriotically and make our voices heard. Are they bringing the obstruction of an official meeting? Are they bringing a conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election? Are they bringing the pressuring of Mike Pence to abort the electoral count? Or, as you said, the substitution of the slate of electors? All I'm saying is that the documents case was stronger. They brought it first. And now it just seems, do they have less confidence in the documents case? Clearly, they're saying, we'll bring anything and everything to upend this election. At any point, we will have President Trump go from New York to Atlanta to Miami to Washington, and that's how we're going to run this election, even though the Trump supporters continue to point out that the Justice Department is in the executive branch and that it looks like a weaponized prosecution.
Yeah. All right, we're going to leave it there for now. Andrew Cherkasky, Thane Rosenbaum, thanks so much. And Bob, you know, it's interesting because